Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about what led to my MS diagnosis. It all started in August 2015 when I got an ear infection and Bell's palsy. I started to experience dizziness, balance issues, and just kind of a hazy out of it sort of feeling. Given that I had an ear infection, this didn't really seem unusual. Several months later, I still had those issues, but I just kind of chalked it up to lingering effects of the ear infection. Around December, started having minor vision issues. It became difficult for me to focus my eyes on things close to my face, as well as when something was moving, or I shifted my vision from one place to another. It took an extra half second or so for me to really see it clearly. Then in February, I started having muscle weakness, stiffness, and what's commonly called spasticity, mainly in my hands and legs. And at the same time came slurred speech. It kind of sounded like I was drunk. I started being very careful about the way I spoke. I didn't want anyone to know that anything was wrong. I've never been a big fan of going to the doctor, so I decided to wait it out. And about 3 to 4 weeks later, those issues went away, but I still had the dizziness, balance, and vision problems. What got me to finally go to the doctor was on April 7th, as I was driving to work. I closed my right eye, and what I saw, my left eye, scared the crap out of me. The vision in that eye was dark, blurry, and kind of cloudy. Not dark as in black, but like if the right eye was daylight, the left eye would be dusk. So that kind of color difference. Throughout the day, it also turned into me having double vision. And double vision sucks, let me tell you. To make this even more terrifying, for about the 10 days leading up to my left eye vision crapping out, I had a constant pressure feeling in the area right above my left eye. It felt like there was something there physically in my head, like pressing on the area right above my eye. So to me, this meant brain tumor. I guess it's human nature to think the worst, but I sincerely thought that I had a brain tumor. I went to the doctor the next day on April 8th. I started explaining to him my symptoms that I'd been having, and I had only been talking for about 2 minutes when he stopped me and said, "Hold that thought, I'll be right back." And he left the room. When he came back, he was like, "Sorry about that, please continue." And I finished telling him my story. When I was done, he was like, "Okay, the reason I left the room is because you need a brain MRI, and I wanted to try to get that for you as soon as possible." That was pretty scary to hear, that you need a brain MRI, especially when you're thinking you have a brain tumor. I asked the doctor what he was thinking it was. He seemed hesitant to say until I told him that I was worried about a brain tumor, at which point he was like, "Well, I mean, it could be a tumor, but I'm thinking MS." I didn't know much about MS at the time, so I went home, did some research, and it did seem to fit the symptoms I'd been having. He also sent me to an ophthalmologist the same day who diagnosed my vision problem as optic neuritis, which I discovered is kind of a hallmark symptom of MS, so it seemed likely that that's what it was. I will skip a lot of frustration on my part, but basically my insurance company is terrible, and it took them forever to actually authorize the brain MRI. While I was waiting for that, my vision started to improve. The optic neuritis slowly got better, and after about 3 weeks, the double vision went away. That was nice. Like I said, double vision sucks. So with the remission of the vision issues, it seemed less likely that it was a brain tumor, more likely that it was MS. Having to wait so long for the MRI was extremely frustrating, but it did allow me time to kind of process the idea of having MS before I actually had the diagnosis, which I think ultimately was helpful. I finally got the MRI and went back to the doctor on May 4th. May the 4th be with you. And the doctor said that the MRI showed multiple brain lesions consistent with MS, that, combined with my recent history of symptoms, allowed him to make the definitive diagnosis of MS. So, while that's not a great diagnosis to get, I was actually relieved. For one, I finally knew what was wrong, and two, it wasn't a brain tumor, and MS is infinitely better than a brain tumor. So he referred me to a neurologist who had a very long waiting period, and I didn't get in to see him until June 28th. The neurologist confirmed the diagnosis and prescribed me Copaxone, which ended up being approved as Glatopa, which is the generic version of Copaxone. Again, thanks to my not-so-wonderful insurance company, it took almost 2 months to get my prescription. So on August 26th was the first day of me actually taking the Glatopa. I have the prescription now, so that's the important thing. And I've been on it for just over 2 months now. And that's pretty much the story of how I got my diagnosis and how I got to where I am today. So that's all I got. Come back next time for more of Rusty's MS adventures. Until then, take care, Internet world.